I figured that, since I've been working at this school for over 7 months now, that I should probably talk about classroom management or um, more about what I do for class. Now, I did mention in my last video log, which you guys probably didn't see because all my video logs are long and they have a bunch of different pieces put together. I'll try to be a little more concise this time, or at least on topic. So I'm pretty much just going to talk about classroom management, how to deal with what the older teachers would call the class clowns, what modern teachers or modern people would call trolls, how to deal with those people, and kind of what I do now. So what I do now, I just teach from the textbook, and I have this DVD that I pop into the computer, and I just teach through that. We do listening exercises, and since my class focuses on the conversation aspect, it's all about pronunciation, listening. If I have stories of my own that I can, teach something cultural to the students, I do that, and usually I do it in a good way that even the lower English level students can understand. And I always have my co-teacher help me out if something's a little hard to get around, some concepts or some definitions. So usually it works out okay. Having that co-teacher really makes a big difference. I felt originally that when I first started that, trying to be less dependent or being less dependent on the co-teacher dictates a good teacher, but eventually I just thought, why do I need to stress about something like that when I can just cooperate with them, involve them more in my classes, and I feel a lot less stress as a result, and I think I have a pretty good relationship with the co-teachers now. The new co-teachers, of course. The last two I had left, and one I don't teach with anymore, so I just have two compared to three from last semester. Anyways, I went on a tangent again. So yeah, I mean, the one trouble I have with that is that for the advanced students, it's way too easy, the stuff. But for the lower level students, they don't, even with the co-teacher explaining the rules or the instructions, they just don't get it. So we would set a timer, 10 minutes for this exercise, and some exercises, we just say, okay, if there's one or two students that don't get it, we just have one teacher quickly help that person out, me or the other person, the other co-teacher. Jeez, that's loud. I'm gonna mute my computer. And I don't like that Facebook does that now, this loud beep. I wish you could turn it off. I'm gonna check later if you can turn that off, but what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I have one teacher helping out that last person, me or her, and I would just move on, or she would move on. But yeah, it's just, but some exercises you have to finish the first one to get to the second one, and if you don't finish the first one, it just, everything just, nothing works out. And they could be the most motivated students in the world, they just need some extra help, and it's not fair to them. But it's also not fair to the actual people that, the students that really want to learn something and really want to keep going. But the good thing is that we have extra English classes that they sign up for, and I have about 20 students. Was not expecting that at all. But I heard from my co-teacher that in their diaries that they have to submit, that they're really enjoying it. So hopefully I can keep that up, keep them engaged, keep teaching them new things, and hopefully they just look forward to those classes. But yeah, I can't, there's not much I can do right now for them. But I think if I was a better teacher, I'd be able to find a way to do it more effectively. So that's what I do now. Last semester I used to have to create my own lessons. I didn't have textbooks or anything. Sometimes I kind of went into the textbook material, but that was at the request of the previous co-teachers. Now it's a little more structured. It's not as interesting for the advanced students because I'm not teaching them anything interesting anymore. You know, before I would teach them an idiom a week and at least they'd all learn something new. But now it's just, we don't have time for that. I'm going to see if I could implement that in the classes. Anyways, so that's that. So now, how do I deal with the classroom trolls? So pretty much what I do is I treat every student like a human being. You know, those troublemaker students can be talking, and you know what I do is I just try to connect with them. And the benefit of being a young teacher and having similar interests like video games and sports, and just like, you know, you just want to have fun, you just want to enjoy yourself. So sometimes I just joke around with them, and you know, if they make a joke at me, I throw a couple jabs their way too, and you know, sometimes the whole class would laugh, you know, and I kind of compromise. Some teachers might say, hey, you shouldn't be joking around at all. You should set rules, you know, so they don't talk ever. But it's not. You just can't. It just won't work out if you do that. Things just. You know, I feel like you have to compromise a little bit as a teacher and kind of have some fun with them at the expense of the lesson, but at the same time that keeps them focused, and that when you really need to get down to something and you're really trying to teach them something, you look at them sternly and say, okay, this is important, so no joking around, and they actually listen. I don't know. I don't punish them. I don't have any. So far, I don't use any point systems or, you know, anything like that. I don't bait them with candy or whatever. Though I do give them candy when they participate, but I keep it random so that, you know, so they participate, and well, they don't know what they're getting. Sometimes it's just good job, and they just sit down. And they're like looking at me. And sometimes I give them candy, and usually if a student that doesn't participate at all participates, I'm like, okay, you're getting something. So I try to keep things interesting. I try to, you know, when you joke around with those students, even if they're making fun of you, you know, you just gotta take it easy. Sometimes I just can't. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm giving you 3 chances. You can make fun of me 3 times. On the 4th time, I'm moving you from your friends, you know, or you're gonna die. Like I literally say that. I'm not gonna kill him. I say you're gonna die. What I do sometimes is I put little dots right here where you can see it, or I'd grab their shoulders and pretend to massage them, but I'd really dig in there. I don't do that to girls. I don't draw on girls, and I only do that to the guys, but it's usually the guys that do that kind of stuff anyways. Class clowns. So yeah, I just, it's a bit of a compromise. And at the end of the day, yeah, you might waste five minutes of class joking around with them and whatnot, but, you know, if they really get out of line, they say some Korean words that you don't understand, but it's like something nasty. The co-teacher's like, oh, come on, and sometimes the other students say, oh, that's too far. You've gone too far this time. And it's kind of like a shaming process. Like, I don't even know what's happening, but I know they went too far, judging by looking at the reaction of the rest of the class, and then they actually be quiet. You know, and it's great because you set a line of, I don't know, this wasn't really intended, but I guess I set some sort of a boundary and a standard, you can joke around and have fun. When things get serious, though, when it's something important, I'll let you know, and that's when you have to listen. Otherwise, you will die. And I don't know. So far, it's been really good. Like, I haven't had any kids getting out of hand. You could say I'm really lucky because the students in the school are generally good kids. They're just sick of school. They don't care about school or whatever. So, for me, I could completely understand why. It's like schools, that's all they do is school. It's nothing like the North American system. Staying in school until 10 p.m., having dormitories on school grounds so that students study and then they don't even go home. They just go straight back to the dorm and sleep and then rinse and repeat. So I just try to joke around, have fun, and really, if they really don't like me, they could make the class a lot worse. Like, they could easily just ruin the class environment. It could just become toxic. You could just not enjoy class. You could not enjoy school, and just ruin your whole experience. So, for me, 5 minutes, even 10 minutes of wasted class time. I don't do 10 minutes usually, but I'm just saying, like, that's a lot better. That 10 wasted minutes really sets a bar. Not a bar, just it really helps prevent a worse outcome. So, and no one gets angry, and co-teachers don't scream or shout, and I don't scream or shout. I never scream or shout at the students. So I just realized this video is probably going to be about 12 minutes long. I just have a lot to talk about, I guess. In the end, it's only really about two things. But yeah, that's pretty much how I deal with the trolls of the class. And it's been working out so far. It's kind of a shame when I hear that the same students don't listen to the other teachers that are a little too nice. But it's not like I punish them or I do anything terrible to them. Like, I just draw dots on their head and, give them a nice massage. I heard Korean massages are actually really, really painful, so, that's nothing new to them. It's just coming from their teacher, not a professional. But yeah, the girls, I just look at them in the eyes and they get all, like, scared. I guess they feel like I'm looking into their soul or something, and some get upset, which is really funny. But I'm like, hey, you don't want me to stare at you? Do your work, or stop talking, and actually stop, because it freaks them out. I don't care if they think I'm a creepy dude. Like, for me, like, I tell them it's my job to teach. I really want to be your friend and have fun and stuff like that, but I need to do my job. And your job is also to learn something, so let's cooperate. We can have fun, but let me do my job, and let the co-teacher do her job, or his job, and everything will be okay. So, I'm going to cut it right there, because I think this video's long enough. I'm wearing this Laker jersey because they need a lot of support right now. Anyways, next time.